Hello everyone, we're back today with another 2-point perspective project. This time we're going to do a full project. This is not practice. We're going to try to complete a project. We're going to do an abstract work of art based on 2-point perspective. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll go over the rubric and show you an example of how to execute this project. Okay, so here we have our supplies that we're going to need for this project. We're going to need some color pencils, a ruler, a pencil, and a sheet of paper. Like all 2-point perspective drawings, we want to start with a horizon line, and we want to determine whether we need to draw that out or not. I'm going to go ahead and place the horizon line around here. I'm not going to draw it on the paper though, and I recommend that you don't either, because you're just going to have to erase it later. But I am going to imagine one right here. I'm going to go ahead and put my vanishing points right here as far apart as possible. And then I'm going to go ahead and see if I can begin this abstract work of art working off the rubric. So number one, we need at least 13 shapes. I'm going to go ahead and recommend cubes, but they have to be 2-point perspective shapes. And so we're going to do 13 cubes from a 2-point perspective angle. And I'm going to make sure that I'm going to place some of them above the horizon line, some of them below the horizon line. I know I don't have a horizon line drawn here, but I'm just imagining it. I know where it is because of my vanishing points. And so I want to make sure that these shapes have a good, interesting coverage and that there are some above and below. So that's a point on the rubric. 2, we're going to make sure they have a good value range. We want lights, lights, darks, and some mid-tones. 3, we want minimal use of color or very subdued color. And finally, we want these to have a light source. So we want to think about where a light source is. You don't have to indicate it on the paper unless you need to remind yourself. But we will be able to tell where the light source is coming from. We ought to be able to tell where the light source is coming from when the drawing is complete. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my 13 cubes. We need them to be well placed. We need to begin probably with the corners, right? Just like we did the other day for our 2-point perspective practice. I want to think about where my shapes are going to be. I want all different sizes. And I'm just kind of trying to figure out where I want to place these. All right, so I'm going to say something like that. So we got 4, 8, 12. So now we need one more. I'm going to say maybe somewhere around here. Okay, so that's where we're going to start. And I can change things as my design needs them to be changed. So this is abstract. Part of this is, self-expression. So I want to just start taking these shapes and making sure that they go back to the vanishing points. And I'm probably not going to go, I know I usually trace it all the way out for you, but I think at this point you really understand. You guys have successfully completed several 1-point perspective drawings And this will be your second 2-point perspective drawing. I think you guys understand that I don't have to draw it all the way back to the line as long as my ruler goes all the way back to the line, right? So I can save myself some erasing if I choose to do so. So I'm just going to start picking shapes, placing them in, just like I did right here. I completed that shape. There's going to be some different things I have to do. Once again, there are some way below the horizon line, so I'm going to have to finish the tops of them. There's some way above the horizon line, so I'm going to have to finish the bottoms of them. I showed you how to do that in another video. I'll refresh your memory here. But one of the things you'll notice, I deliberately put some of these where they might be blocked. There might be some overlapping. And I may even go and add more later. So I have to have at least 13 for my rubric to meet rubric. But I can have many, many more than that if I want to. So 13 is the bare minimum. Now we're just going to close all these shapes in. All right, now we want to go ahead and close in the tops and the bottoms of these, which I've talked about before in other videos. You can do the test if I need to draw basically 2 lines to close this in. If I'm going to try to do this one, or let's say I'm trying to do this line right here, can I do that line from this vanishing point? No, the ruler's going completely the wrong way. So I'll have to switch to this vanishing point in order to close in this cube. Same thing for this line right here. Is there any possible way I can go to this vanishing point and close in this box right here? No, the ruler's going the wrong way, so I'm going to have to switch sides. And there we go. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill this out. So now we've got quite a little collection of blocks here. I think I still want more. I've closed in the top of almost all of these. Okay, so let's go ahead and start adding some more to this. I'm going to go ahead and say this right here, I would not be able to see through that. Let's find a few more places we could add something, although that'll be a little interesting here. Maybe I want to play off of this space here. So I have like this negative space coming through here, and then it kind of drops off. This part kind of angles up. So I've kind of start messing around with the space here a little bit. So let's go ahead and start filling some of these in with different values. So we want to pick our light source. I'm going to put my light sources in here based on how many times I had to erase and where I had to erase. Now we're switching to a 4B pencil, a lot darker pencil, and we're going to start punching up our values, punching up our contrast, and starting to get a better, richer value range. All right, we're getting pretty close to a finished drawing here. I want to go ahead and add some colors. I think what I'm going to use is a kind of a muted blue, and I'm going to use it very lightly, and I'm not going to use it very much. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and lay this in directly over where I shaded in earlier. Alright, so here we have it, the finished product. I just added some color lightly to it. Not much, just 2 colors. It can also be monochromatic. That's it for this demo. I hope this helps. I'll see you all next time.